In 1997, 39 people were found dead in a mansion in California. They were all wearing identical outfits, had the same haircut, and each had a bag packed for a journey. Their farewell message? They were leaving their bodies behind to board a spaceship hiding behind the Hale-Bopp comet and finally reach true reality. If that sounds like the opening scene of a sci-fi thriller, it's not. It's the real-life story of the Heaven's Gate cult. And as terrifying as it is, the most unsettling part isn't their belief, it's how familiar their logic might sound once you start questioning your own version of reality. See, what most people miss is that you don't have to join a cult to live in an illusion. In fact, we all do every day. No spaceship required. Because what you call reality is not just outside you, it's constructed inside your head. A mental movie so convincing that we rarely question the script, let alone who's directing. So before you roll your eyes at bizarre beliefs, ask yourself, have you ever been certain something was true, only to realize later your mind filled in the blanks? That's not an error, that's the default setting. And once you see how deep this rabbit hole goes, you'll start to realize the world out there. It's mostly what's going on in here. Let's get one thing straight. Your brain is not trying to show you the truth. It's trying to keep you alive without frying its circuits. It's like that friend who always tells you, don't worry, it's fine, even when the kitchen is literally on fire. It wants you calm, focused, and functional, not accurate. Not. Your brain receives way too much information per second: lights, smells, textures, memories, emotions, that weird sound your fridge keeps making so it trims the fat. It builds shortcuts based on your past and throws a simulation at your eyeballs that says, good enough. And we call that reality. In other words, you're not living in the real world. You're living in a kind of mental PowerPoint presentation your brain whipped up to help you not trip over the furniture. It's not dishonest. It's just aggressively efficient. Truth is a luxury. Coherence is survival. Ever been looking for your sunglasses while wearing them? Congratulations, you've met your brain's filter system. Selective attention decides what matters and silently deletes the rest. It's like a stage magician. Look here, not there. And poof, reality disappears. In fact, studies show that you can miss a man in a gorilla suit walking across the screen if your brain doesn't think gorillas are relevant to your task. That's not a failure. That's how your brain works. You're not seeing everything, you're seeing what your mind prioritized for you. The result? We walk around thinking we're seeing the truth when we're actually just seeing a curated playlist of familiar, comforting inputs. Reality filtered through an invisible Instagram algorithm in your skull. No wonder we're confused. The caption always says authentic, but half the photo is cropped. Here's the plot twist. You don't actually see the world, you see your version of it. It's not a conspiracy. It's how the human brain works. Everything you perceive is filtered through a mental model that your mind updates constantly using memories, beliefs, culture, and whatever strange assumptions you picked up from your third-grade teacher. Imagine wearing invisible VR goggles your entire life, but instead of video game graphics, they project your past experiences onto everything. You don't meet new people. You meet echoes of your old patterns wearing different clothes. You don't enter new situations, you replay old expectations with a slightly updated background. So when people say, I just trust my instincts, what they often mean is, I follow my mental projection of the past and hope for the best. Charming. But now you see why two people can look at the same event and come away with completely different stories. Because neither of them was looking at the world, they were both looking at their world. Let's talk about memory. You think it's a USB stick filled with high-definition facts? Nope. It's more like a creative writing assignment your brain keeps editing without asking. Every time you recall a memory, you're not replaying it, you're rewriting it, like a novelist who never hits save and just improvises the plot every time. You remember moments in your life that shaped you. Powerful conversations, dramatic events, emotional breakthroughs. But science has bad news. Half of that might not have happened the way you think it did. Or at all. In experiments, people remembered fake events with absolute confidence, including emotional details. Their brains just filled in the gaps with flair, and that's not even malicious, it's just how the system works. Your mind doesn't care about historical accuracy, it cares about coherence. If something doesn't quite fit, It rewrites the memory to match your inner narrative. So yes, you're the main character of your story, but the book is written by a ghostwriter who loves plot twists. Here's a fun one. Most of the thoughts running through your head weren't invited, they just showed up. Like that one friend who keeps crashing your couch and now thinks they live there. From childhood on, your brain is bombarded with ideas, values, and opinions from family, school, religion, TV, TikTok, angry guys on YouTube, and your brain just absorbs it all. Over time, these external voices start sounding like your own. I'm not good enough. That's just how the world works. I hate pineapple on pizza. Are those your actual thoughts or just echoes of things you heard repeatedly until your brain added them to its greatest hits playlist? The scary part? You may never have questioned them. They just felt true. So when you say, "This is who I am," take a beat. Because maybe that opinion isn't your authentic self speaking. Maybe it's your inner algorithm playing old content you didn't even know was downloaded. You're not broken. You're just running outdated software with no firewall. You think you're in charge, don't you? That you choose what to eat, what to wear, what video to watch at 2 a.m.? That your decisions are thoughtful and conscious? Neuroscience has entered the chat, and it's awkward. Brain scans have shown that your brain makes decisions before you're even aware of them. You decide after the fact, like a press secretary explaining a policy you didn't write. It's not that free will doesn't exist, it's just delayed and heavily influenced by mood, lighting, music, smell, hormones, and that weird commercial you saw 3 weeks ago. You think you're picking the red shirt because it feels right today. Nah, it's because your ex once wore blue and your brain still holds a silent grudge. This doesn't mean you're a robot. It means your decisions are pre-baked, then dressed up to feel spontaneous. Like ordering a salad because you felt like it, when in reality, your stomach, blood sugar, cortisol, and TikTok feed all teamed up and staged a salad intervention. Congrats, you chose exactly what your brain set you up to want. Okay, deep breath. Here's the big twist. If your thoughts, memories, and decisions aren't entirely yours, who are you really? Well, what if you're not the content of the mind, but the consciousness observing it, the silent awareness behind the noise? You're not the chaos on the screen, you're the one in the back row watching the movie, probably judging the plot. Thoughts come and go, beliefs evolve, emotions rise and fall like bad weather, but something stays constant, the one noticing it all. That awareness isn't dramatic. It doesn't yell, it just watches. That's you. Not the character in the story, but the presence holding the book. This isn't about becoming a monk or floating off into a bliss cloud. It's just about realizing you are not what passes through your mind. You are the one who sees it pass. And the moment you recognize that, everything shifts. You stop fighting the thoughts and start watching the show with popcorn. So here we are peeking behind the curtain, only to find out that the wizard of reality is mostly made of recycled thoughts, mental filters, and old emotional baggage. What you see, what you feel, even what you think you are, might just be an elaborate illusion wrapped in a hoodie called me. But don't panic. This isn't bad news, it's your upgrade notification. Because once you see the mechanics, you get to stop reacting blindly. You start observing, editing, and maybe even rewriting your script. The mind may be a messy narrator, but awareness? That's your director's chair. So next time reality feels overwhelming, just smile and remember, it's all part of the simulation your brain's been binge writing since birth. And now, you've got the remote.